What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week, we don't complain often on our show here on the channel. Not the three of us, but we're going to give you 5 things about card collecting that just drive us crazy. I know there aren't many things in the hobby that drive people crazy, but we were lucky enough to find 5 of them. We're going to share them with you today. Number 1, we're going to go with misleading eBay listings. We have a lot of ways we can go with this one, but I was looking for some refractors this last week. You would be amazed at the number of different cards that people call refractors on eBay that are not refractors. A base flare showcase card, not a refractor, but if you look on eBay, you'll find some there.
Really?
All kinds of cards that aren't refractors that show up as refractors. Some of those I can maybe understand. Maybe people using listing programs that aren't like catching the difference. But there are a lot of people out there that are intentionally calling stuff things it is not, just to get you to look at it. Why? I'm not going to buy what you have if it's not what I'm looking for. I've never once searched for refractor and saw a flare showcase base card and went, oh, well, that's not a refractor, but I want that card. Just stop doing it, Joe.
Mike, here's the problem. You are a high information buyer. You know what you're looking for. EP knows what he's looking for. I know what I'm looking for. I assume our viewers, because they are the smartest viewers out there in YouTube. They know what they're looking for. Not everyone does. And if you can trick one person, that's all it takes. It has a refractor shine on it, Mike. It kind of has a shine, so you can call it a refractor. You can call it a silver or a hollow or whatever, and you're fine. My example of this is when people will post like boxes of cards and allude that you can pull things that are not in that box.
2,000
people
tops
posting 2,000 tops chrome. I have people, and I don't think I talked about Star Trek at all on the podcast. So I'm going to talk about Star Trek here real quick. People posting boxes of the Insurrection set saying you can pull Patrick Stewart autographs. No, you can't. He's a redemption. You cannot pull those cards out of those boxes. So people using just enough truth to pull you in and hope you don't read the rest. It's a pretty common thing on eBay.
You know who you are. The people who put not a PSA 10 in the title. Not a PSA 10.
That's a good one.
You pieces of garbage. We're not here to buy your non PSA 10. If I'm looking for a PSA 10, I'm going to buy the PSA 10. Like Mike said with the refractors, like there are different layers there, but I feel like that is one of the most blatant examples of people misleading people with their listings. If you put not a PSA 10, or if you put like a card and then you put the word Griffey, like a baseball card, but it's not a Griffey card, but you put the word Griffey in it, like, and then also using the metadata, like putting stuff in the like seeing the metadata with crap stuff too. Like, just stop with your garbage. Nobody's gonna buy your stuff. It's not that's what they're looking for.
They think they're gonna, though. They think they're going to.
Sadly, some people still might EP. Some people
they probably do.
Might.
Yeah.
I want to know what their success rate is with this. Like, is it actually working for them? Like, I want to know. If you comment down below, if you
nobody watching us does this.
If you're a scumbag and randomly watching us, can you comment down below?
We do not have anybody watching us that are scumbags. Right. All right. If you watch the channel, you might hear a term on here once or twice every other minute. We use the term yucking other people's yums. He's the one that brought that to the channel.
Coined it.
But it's kind of something that is stuck. Yucking other people's yums. Don't be that person on social media. You know, somebody's excited they got a card, and you have to be that guy to go, point out a flaw in it. Oh, there's a divot there by his shoulder. Like, don't be that guy. This person's happy. They're enjoying their hobby. Don't be a dick. That's really simple. You don't be a dick. Don't yuck other people's yums.
And like, if someone does a video on this channel and says 5 ways people are wasting money, don't yuck their yums by commenting and saying, well, you didn't mention these things. Oh, wait, no, that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic. Yes. Scroll by. What? Just scroll by. What are you doing? Why do you need to go in there? Like if someone posted that card and there was a little dimple in it and they said, what do you think this would grade and why? Then is when you say, oh, there's a dimple in here. It'll probably grade a 9 or an 8 or whatever. It's probably not a 10. That's fine. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about people who are searching things out to be a dick about. And you know who you are.
None of our viewers,
of course. But if I see something that stresses, there are so many things that stress me out. If you've been watching this channel at all, you know this. But the amount of times I actually respond or comment to those things is like shockingly low. Like I'm not saying it's 0, but it is shockingly low.
He shared some of the drafts, by the way. We've seen some of those drafts.
I do. I will screen cap and send. If you love sticker autos and you post about them, that's the one that might make me stop. But I try to avoid it as much as possible. So yeah, in the words of EP, the prophetic words of EP, he coined the phrase, don't yuck other people's yums. And I 100% agree with him.
Yeah, there was a moment at work. I forget exactly what brought it up, but we were trying to come up with like a list of something or whatever. And my response was, don't be a dick. And my editor at the time changed it to don't be a jerk. But the bottom line is like there is no reason in this universe why you need to be a dick at all times to every person that you interact with. And I believe that the issue is the social media is the big issue here, because when I am at a card show, I think I've had one person. And Joe, you were there remember when that one dude came over?
I do remember this.
And literally everybody afterwards, I talked to people about it, and it's like, this guy is apparently known for being this kind of person, but they're not going to come up to you and say your cards suck, or that's a crap card in your case, or like, I can't believe you paid that amount of money for that at a card show in person. They have perfectly fine to do it when you're sitting behind a computer or a phone and you are miles away from that person. You're perfectly fine to do it. And if think about your interactions. If you were in person, would you actually say this to this person? There's absolutely no way people would say, oh, there's a divot in that card, or why would you bother grading that in PSA? You'd be like, oh, that's cool. Thanks for showing me.
And I have more respect for those people, by the way. If you're willing to do it in person, I respect you.
Sure.
If you're only willing to do it online, you're a bitch.
Yeah. And then the bottom line is, when you're scrolling through and like Joe said, scroll past, you're not that important. Nobody cares about every single opinion you have. Just scroll past.
That's the main thing. People don't care about your opinion. Once you realize that other people really don't care about your unsolicited opinion, then you'll be a better person. If they're asking for it, sure thing, give it to them, but don't just give them your opinion when they don't want it. But this is where we are. But number 3 are the prices of older boxes of cards. I do a lot of selling of packs and stuff so I'm looking at the older box prices all the time. I come across an awful lot that I look to see what's in it and see what the most valuable cards are in it. And I cannot figure out for the life of me why in the world the product costs as much as it does. There are a lot of things out there that you would have to get the number 1 card out of it, send it to PSA, and get a PSA 10 out of it just to break even. Like, what are we doing? I know that the grading craze has artificially pumped up the prices of older boxes, because people are thinking, oh, I can buy an older box, I'll get that card sent in and get a 10. Doesn't work like that with 90s stuff. The quality wasn't quite what it is even today, where you're at like 50% gem rate. It doesn't make sense. And there's a lot of stuff out there I would like to get to sell in my sales, but I can't do it because it costs way too much and there's just nothing worth getting out of it.
What I call this, the Skybox Impact Tom Brady conundrum. Like, I was looking for multiple different boxes I thought would be really awesome to rip for the channel. Go after maybe Pacific Aurora, which I have a Brady up here, the Skybox Impact. There's a handful of lower end Brady's, Score, I believe, for example, and people were asking for, like you said, Mike, they were asking, like, I would have had to pull a Brady, which is not a guarantee, right? You're not guaranteed to get that card, but that's the only card of value for the most part, because it's not like there's an autograph per box or anything like that. It's, if you get this Brady rookie card, you'll be okay to start, but you still got to get that 10, right? So it's not a guarantee you even get that card. If you get that card, it's got to be perfect, which I don't know if people who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s know cards were not perfect then. Can you imagine after sitting for 25-ish years how they're going to look out of those packs? And then you have to send it in, get a PSA 10. If you get anything less, you lost your shirt on those cards, because we'll talk about something else, I'm sure. But like it's crazy to me that people expect to charge those prices. And it's not just a sports thing, by the way, Mike. Boxes of 90s Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
You need to, if you don't get 10s, you open up a box of 90 MU, which they've come down, but they're still not cheap. Masterpieces, which those brick like an SOB, right? Like
I was looking at
Flair.
the prices of Flair the
Yeah.
other night, and I was like, why?
Why? There's nothing in there. Like the whole, I just missed out on it because of the timing of it, but the whole Power Blast set, which is the insert set, I just missed out on. It went for less than $50. The whole thing on auction.
Mhm.
There's nothing in there worth what they're asking for. So then you have to do what you said, Mike. You have to go the grading route. And we're so trained to go the grading route. That's how people price their boxes. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there are a lot of layers here. The first one I want to address is that I'm part of the problem, right? Like I'm still sending cards to PSA to get them graded. Like I'm thinking about myself.
You are the problem.
Buying a box of cards and thinking to myself, I want to grade a couple of these cards, and to pay for help pay for the box. And that is the mentality of our hobby right now. And so I'm part of that problem for sure. I will admit that 100%. And I'm probably going to still keep doing it just because I like to open cards, and that is the only way that right now you can open cards, especially our stuff. Like that is the only way you can do it. And it's not great at all. One of the crappy things is people who are putting, like, going back to our first topic, people are putting Brady rookie year at the very, very end of their titles for boxes that are like 2000, whatever, even there's no Brady in it. Like, and then so that's inflating the prices.
And the best card is the Chad Pennington EP. You better get a 10 on that Chad Pennington.
Right. So and then, for those cards, there's no way you can make your money back if it's that overpriced and there's no Brady in there to make your money back on. That's very upsetting. And I guess that's I guess that's it. I had another thought, but that's enough, I guess.
All right. The next one on our list of things that drive us crazy. EP forgetting what he wants to say. No, that's not it. It is. Now, some of you out there might do this. We still love you, but it drives us crazy when you're calling every jersey swatch a patch. The patches are the things on the jersey, the numbers, the names, maybe a team logo, an NFL logo. They're patches. They are sewn on the jersey. The rest of the jersey is not a patch. It is just a jersey. So the swatch of jersey, that you call them a napkin patch now, it's not a patch. It's not a napkin. It's a piece of jersey. Stop calling it a patch card. Patch cards are from patches. Jersey cards are from jersey. They're not the same thing. You need to differentiate the two. Drives me crazy if you can't tell. And I know some of you do it. It's okay. I still love you. But stop doing it.
This is I don't know who to point blame to, because I was out of the hobby like the three of us were. EP, maybe you know, but I'm going to blame Panini. Okay,
Go Joe.
Yeah, sorry. I knew it. He's like, please don't blame Topps, please. I don't know who invented the term RPA and rookie patch auto. Whoever did is to blame. Now, if it was Topps back in the day when we were out of it, if it was one of the other companies, Upper Deck,
Who knows?
It might have been Upper Deck.
An SPX.
But, like, creating that term is fine, but I'm talking about bastardizing the term. Let everything with a piece of anything is an RPA. No, some of it is rookie jersey autos, and that's perfectly fine. But the National Treasures out of 99 RPA is the card, the rookie card that all collectors want. That for some reason, the out of 99 for some reason, and the rookie patch auto. People who say, oh, it's a napkin patch, touch the thing that you're calling a patch. It's not going to feel like a patch. It doesn't feel like a piece of basically plastic, right? It doesn't feel like that. It feels like a jersey because it's jersey. So the whole RPA craze, not the original ones that actually were RPAs, right? But the RPA craze is what I think just totally bastardized that term. And here we are. Everything is a patch. And if everything's a patch, you know what I say? Nothing's a patch.
Nothing.
I can't agree more with Joe on this one, but I am holding my pen.
I see.
Because
no.
I've been
Right.
wanting to address this for a little while here. I agree 100% that RPA is the problem, the actual term RPA. Not everything needs to be a freaking acronym, okay? Stop it with the acronyms, and we wouldn't have this problem. RPA sounds cool, and it sounds easier to say, but
A lot
the bottom
better
line
than
is...
RJA.
Right,
It doesn't
better than
roll off the
RJA.
tongue. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
but RJA, nobody uses that. But that is literally probably like 90% of what these cards are in the hobby. Probably right. The RPAs are meant to be special. If it's a patch, it's meant to be special. It's meant to be a part of a number or a part of the name plate on the back or whatever, and it's supposed to be special. Not everything's an RPA. We got to stop this, and please, we don't need an acronym for everything in the universe.
I thought EP was going to drop an F-bomb there. That's how
I did too.
I was close. I was
He
like,
was close.
I
was like,
I
oh,
was thinking about it.
Yep.
All right, number 5, the final one on our list of things that drive us crazy, and this should drive you crazy too. When the prices of raw cards are worth more than PSA 9s, what are we doing? What are we doing? First of all, don't even get me started on what is really the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 on an ultra modern card. It's pretty much the mood of your grader on any given day for a lot of cards. There's very little difference between them. Now that we're devaluing a PSA 9 because that raw one could be a 10, there might be a boat in that box. Absolutely. Come on. PSA 9s are the best buying opportunity in the hobby. If you're not buying PSA 9s, you're crazy. I know some people only want 10s, but if you're paying more for a raw card hoping to get a 10 than you're paying for a 9, just stop. Because first of all, there's probably a reason that person is selling it raw instead of sending it in to grade themselves. Like, come on. I just automatically assume anything past a certain point in time, if somebody's selling it raw, it's because they saw something on it that means it's not going to be a 10.
Mhm.
But the forever hopeful hobby sees a raw card sitting there. They're like, you know what? I think that could be a 10. I will give you $20 more for that than a PSA 9. It drives me crazy. It makes no sense to most people in the hobby. What are we doing?
I boat in that box, baby.
Vote in that box.
So I almost stepped on this talking about the boxes of Brady's where if you get a 9, I stopped myself. I was good. I stopped myself. But yeah, that's the thing too. I'll talk about it now a little bit. If you open up that box of Impact and you get a Brady and you get a 10, okay, you're okay. You maybe made a little bit of profit. You get a 9 or an 8, you are hosed. So it's smarter to sell it raw, which is absolutely insane. But Mike, I'm going to disagree with you. This does not drive me nuts. I have no problem with this. Zero problem with this. You know why? Because I can scoop up and buy 9s on the cheap, MFer. That's why I love this. Like you if you're not taking advantage of this as a collector, you're doing the hobby wrong. If you are not, it used to be 8s. The collector grade, I've said this on the podcast before, the collector grade used to be an 8, and 8s were great. Now it's moved to 9s, and 9s are fine. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I was hoping you know that.
9s are fine. I'll tell you, because if I'm a collector, if I'm an end user, which we're a dying breed, I know. If I'm an end user out there, I want a 9 if I can get it for a little bit more than an 8, way less than a 10, and now less than a raw. Absolutely sign me up. And I just, It's blows my mind. It's kind of depressing that people do it this way, but that's kind of where we're at with the hobby, and it is what it is. But yeah, buy nines. If you're a collector, buy nines.
I hate to have to follow up that alliteration, but I guess I will have to. I'm a huge fan of PSA 9s as well, and people I think here are some of the issues. I think a lot of people that buy PSA 9s are then thinking, well, I can crack it out and send it get it a 10, and that actually is a really good idea, because your raw card, like if you're buying a raw card, that card has a very good chance of coming back a 6 or 7. But if it's a 9, that somebody's already said, okay, well, it's at least a 9. So the fact that 9s are so much less than a 10 is an opportunity for the flippers, but it's also like you guys both said, a tremendous opportunity for end users, for the people who actually want to collect a card, a really good version of a card. We've talked a number of times. I'm sure I brought it up a number of times myself, that the whole point was, back in the day, a card coming out of a pack was an 8, and if it was less than an 8, then you could send it into Topps. They would replace it for you. Now, and then, not that you would grade every single card, but the thought of an 8 being the card out of a pack. So right now, the 9s are being priced as a card out of a pack, and that just should not be that way. I mean, obviously 10s should hold some sort of premium in theory, in the oldest sense of how grading cards, but it's the numbers so astronomically higher than the 9s right now. That's just ridiculous. And this is what I don't know if it like makes me angry, shaking my fist angry, but it's one of these things in the hobby that just it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Oh, and I do want to follow up real quick about, you made a really good point, Mike. If someone's selling you a raw card, chances are they probably realize, because in this day and age, you absolutely have to kind of turn your head a little bit and say, why haven't they graded it? Everything gets graded. And we love him. We watch him. For me, it's appointment television. Alico 3 sells a lot of cards on eBay. When I see a raw card being sold from Alico 3, who grades a ton, and even like base cards of 90 stuff, he grades everything. If I see him selling a raw card, kind of makes me nervous. I'm not going to buy that raw card. We love him again, but I don't know.
But again, like, as long as you don't pay that expecting to get people sometimes buy cards expecting to get a 10, like to turn it. But if you get like a raw card, should be priced relatively way less than a 9 or a 10. So I mean, there's opportunity there if people don't overpay for it, which
adorable
doesn't happen.
Ever the optimist. All right, let us know what drives you crazy in the hobby, because it's a lot of fun for us to hear how wrong we are with the show we do every week.
Yeah,
sometimes we're right, but we just don't do it because we talk about it every week. But hope you guys enjoyed that one. We'll be back next week with another top 5 list for you. Till then, I'm out of here. See you guys.
See you, boys.
See ya.